Hello everybody, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis with another Codex analysis series. Today I have borrowed Kieran's copy of Codex Tau, which he's been so kind to lend to me, and I'm going to analyse it because that's what Codex analysis is. I'm going to be honest up front, I'm not a big fan of Codex Tau. I just find it really powerful. Almost too powerful. I mean, it's blown away my Imperial Guard, and I've got a battle report coming out with my orcs coming out, which actually have been out already by now, and my orcs got battered as well, so I don't like Tau. They screw me out. But it's a very powerful codex, and I understand a lot of people use Tau, so I think I should give my take on it anyway, and I'll try to be unbiased, I promise. So as I do, or as I did with Dark Eldar, Dark Angels and whatever, I'm going to go through the army special rules first, Warlord Traits, Relics and everything else, and then part 2 we'll do the HQ section, starting with the named ones. So, army special rules. The Bonding Knife Ritual, the Talisera. Sound familiar to anybody else? Because it does to me. Any units consisting entirely of models with the Bonding Knife Ritual special rule, not counting drones, benefits from heroic morale, even if they are not accompanied by an independent character. What does heroic morale mean? I have absolutely no idea. I have a funny feeling because it's got something to do with an independent character that it may be something to do with Lookout Sir. Or possibly it's like something like heroic intervention in a challenge. I really don't know. So someone fill me in on that one, please. The comment section is wide open for you. Supporting fire. Supporting fire. When an enemy unit declares a charge, all friendly models with this special rule and units within 6 inches of the charging unit's target could choose to fire Overwatch as if they were also target of the charge. So basically, when your squad of fire warriors gets charged, all of the units in 6 inches can Overwatch as if they were being charged as well as the fire warriors overwatching. Yeah, it's that powerful. However, remember a unit can only still fire Overwatch once per phase, meaning that if an opponent is clever, they will use other units to eat the Overwatch and then make the big charge, or at least to stop you overwatching the big charge because they're scared of being charged themselves. But it's still quite a terrifying rule, and while it makes a lot of sense in the fluff, it doesn't translate onto the tabletop very well. It's very powerful. I've had it just mow an entire unit down. I have. Warlord traits are only available to commanders and ethereals. There are other HQs, and I will go over those in, I think it will be part 3, possibly part 2. But these traits are only available to commanders and ethereals, and only the commander can take them all. So, let's go through them, shall we? If you roll a 1 on your d6, you have Precision of the Skilled Hunter. Enemy models cannot take Lookout Sir against the Warlord's shooting attacks. If the Warlord has no ranged weapons, re-roll this result. So if your Warlord trait is actually useless, you can re-roll this, which is annoying, I have to say. But it's a very limited one because generally it's only good for fusion sniping or missile sniping, such and such. It's not bad. Through Unity Devastation, number 2. One use only, declared at the start of one shooting phase. For the duration of that shooting phase, all friendly units within 12 inches of the Warlord re-roll to hit rolls of 1. All friendly units from this codex, or allies won't be affected, sorry. All friendly units from this codex re-roll to hit rolls of 1 within 12 inches of the Warlord. That's very good. I've got to say that's a great Warlord trait. 3 goes to Walks Among Us. The Warlord and his unit move 3d6 when making jetpack thrust moves, or as we call it, the jump shoot jump move. If your Warlord is not jetpack infantry, i.e. is not a commander, re-roll this result. Which is again annoying because no other rulebook or codexes that I'm aware of allows you to do that. Apart from possibly tank commanders for Astra Militarum. 4. Example of the Selfless Cause. One use only. Declare your Warlord using this ability at the start of a movement phase. All friendly units on the battlefield from this codex that have gone to ground are no longer considered gone to ground and can move, shoot and charge normally this turn. Basically meaning you can hide for a turn of barrage fire, then get back up and get in position. You can only do it once, but it's a very useful trait to have. 5. Predator of the Skies. One use only. Declare your Warlord using this ability at the start of one shooting phase. For that phase, the Warlord and his unit have Skyfire, which is very good because it's extra Skyfire, and Tower's got a lot of Skyfire. If you can add this in, it's very good, particularly if you're packing fusions and missile pods. 6. Through Boldness Victory. Your Warlord and any unit he joins does not scatter when arriving by Deep Strike. If your Warlord cannot Deep Strike, re-roll this result. Again, if you're an Ethereal, you can't Deep Strike, re-roll the result. So the Commander can take them all. The Ethereal can only take 2, 4, and 5. And all these traits pretty much are good. There isn't a bad trait in here. 5 is situational slightly. 4 possibly situational. 1, don't know. But that's a very, very useful set of traits. Another army special rule is drones, because drones pop up all over the place. And they are basically just AIs. And a unit comprised entirely of drones is non-scoring, non-denial, and they do not have the bulky special rule. So they can't score and they can't stop other people clearing objectives, which is okay. Drones taken as upgrades for units act as additional squad members. They are unable to leave the unit whilst maintain coherency. Drones taken as kind of purchase options and so do not pay for them. For example, if you purchase EMP grenades for a Fire Warrior squad, you don't have to pay for the drones to have EMP grenades. You just pay for the Fire Warriors to have them. Independent characters can also take drones. They're still permitted to join units, in which case the character and the drones join the unit. If the independent character leaves, all the surviving drones belonging to the character leave, forming a separate unit. If the independent character is killed, his surviving drones are therefore part of the unit he's in and cannot leave it. The independent character's unit, for the purpose of victory points, is dead. So if your Commander Warlord is sniped while he's attached to a battlesuit team and dies, the drones just become part of the Crisis squad and you get the Slay the Warlord point. If the independent character is killed while he's not joined to a unit, do not remove surviving drones. The unit is not destroyed until all the drones have been destroyed as well. So that means you do not get the Warlord point without killing the drones. Another independent character can join the surviving drones, but as they are not his upgrades, he cannot take them with him if he then joins another unit. So they become an independent unit that have the Warlord point stowed away in them, if it's in that scenario, which is very useful. Vehicle drones. Some vehicles include 2 drones. They start attached to the vehicle. They are treated as passengers, but they don't count against the transport capacity and can actually be attached to vehicles without one. This means that while they're attached, they can make shooting attacks as if they were passengers shooting from fire points using their location to determine LOS, range, and so on. Unlike other models shooting from fire points, attached drones must shoot the same target as the vehicle they're attached to. That's common sense. Target acquired abilities used by a TOW vehicle or vehicle squadron also apply to attached drones. That's to do with Markerlights, which is another piece of war gear which I will do probably in the next video, or possibly later. I'll go over Markerlights at some point. If a vehicle is destroyed before it detaches its drones, the drones are automatically destroyed as well. That makes sense. During any friendly movement phase, drones may detach from their vehicle in the same way as infantry disembarking from an open-top transport. All drones must detach at the same time and form a single new unit. They cannot then reattach, but they can embark on transports in the same manner as other drones. Drones that started the game attached to a vehicle do not award VP when destroyed. In addition, your opponent only needs to destroy the vehicle and not the vehicle's detached drones to be able to award victory points. That's important. So drones don't score extra victory points for being detached. You only have to destroy the vehicle they're attached to. Same with characters. Unless the character is on his own, then you actually have to kill the drones. Drones are a bit long-winded, but they come up a lot, so I think that needed trying to explain. There are 4 types of main drone. The gun drone has a twin-link pulse carbine and has supporting fire, so it's strength 5, AP 5, assault 2, 18-inch range, twin-linked. The marker drone has a marker light and supporting fire. A missile drone has a missile pod, which is strength 7, AP 4, 2 shots. Just have a look. I think it was strength 7, AP 4. It might be 8. Missile pod. Strength 7, AP 4, assault 2, 36-inch range. Supporting fire. And the shield drone has a shield generator, which is a 4+ invulnerable, and supporting fire, even though it doesn't have a gun. I don't know. I think I should cover the marker light, really. So, let's go to the war gear list. I'm not there yet. Markerlight. It is 36-inch range, strength dash, AP dash, heavy 1, target acquired. So you cannot move to use a Markerlight. And it's got a rule called target acquired, which I mentioned just briefly earlier. They cannot cause damage or wounds. Instead, each time a unit suffers a hit with this special rule, place a Markerlight counter next to it. No saves can be taken, so you don't get like a cover save against a Markerlight. Markerlight counters remain next to their unit until the end of the current phase or until they are used, whichever comes first. Immediately before a unit from Codex Tau shoots at a target that has one or more Markerlight counters, it can declare it using one or more of the Markerlight abilities. Each ability costs a number of counters. Any unit can combine any number of counters, any number of abilities, provided there are enough. Note that as Markerlight counters are removed from the target before the shooting attack is made, it is impossible for a unit to benefit from its own Markerlights. I should point that out. You can't just fire a Markerlight and then use it for your own squad. The other things that can is the Network Markerlight, which is another piece of wargear entirely. And the three abilities are as such. Pinpoint, which is one counter. You have to take one counter away to do this. If you do so, all models firing at the target gain a bonus to their BS for the duration of the shooting attack. The size of this bonus is equal to the number of Markerlight counters. So you can actually do this, so take 3 counters off, get plus 3 BS. And here's the annoying thing. Pinpoint can increase the ballistic skill of snapshots and overwatch. So if you've got 2 units overwatching, one can use its Markerlights and the other one will become like BS3 or BS4, which is awful. That's just evil, if you ask me. Scour, Markerlight costs 2. All weapons fired at the target as part of the shooting phase gain ignores cover. This is even more annoying, because one of the only defences you have against Tau pretty much is the cover save, and you don't get the cover save. There's 2 counters though at least. Seeker, this is a 1 or more Markerlights. For each Markerlight counter expended on this ability, the unit immediately fires a single Seeker missile if it has one, in addition to any other weapons it is permitted to fire. It does not need line of sight, must be fired at the same time as the vehicle's other weapons, is resolved at BS5, has ignores cover, does not reduce the number of weapons a vehicle can fire at full BS, and does not count the limit of 2 missiles a flyer can fire each turn. So it's basically a BS5 hunter killer missile gets launched, which is not bad. I mean, I think that's quite useful, although it's only actually going to work if a vehicle expends it, but that's okay. And then we have the relics, or the signature systems as they're known in this codex. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, and they are available to commanders, bodyguard teams, and sergeants in crisis teams. I'll be right back, folks. And we're back. Okay, so there are 8 signature systems, and they're available, as I said, to commanders, chasseurs, bodyguard teams, and sergeants or chasseurs in crisis battlesuit teams. They are not available to ethereals or other HQ choices. That is important. And they are actually rather cheap, because obviously they're available to sergeants, so if you go make them 50 points, nobody's going to take them. The first one is the NeuroWeb System Jammer. This thing costs 2 blinking points. 2. Come on. What it does is, at the start of each enemy shooting phase, this model can target a single enemy unit in 12 inches, and all shooting weapons in that target unit gets hot. Ow. For 2 points, that's great. I like that. I'd take that. The second one is the Onega Gauntlet, I think, or Onega Gauntlet, and this is 5 points. How is this 5 points? In the fight subphase, this model can opt to substitute all its close combat attacks for a strength 10 AP 1 attack. No, this is not 5 points. That is brilliant. I mean, considering when you look at a Crisis Battlesuit, even a Crisis Battlesuit Sergeant, he's got 3 attacks at strength 5. I'd rather have 1 attack, strength 10 AP 1, than 3 attacks at strength 5 AP 0. That's really good, and for 5 points, that should be 15. That's like having a power fist. That's brilliant. Dude. Okay, failsafe detonator. This is 10 points. If this model dies in the assault phase, enter the large blast marker over him immediately before removing. All units suffer a number of strength 5 AP nothing hits equals the number of models from their unit under the template. So basically, place the large blast, everybody under it is a strength 5 AP not hit. This includes friendlies. It's 10 points, okay. Also for 10 points, you have the Repulsor Impact Field. At the initiative 10 step, this item inflicts D6 strength for AP nothing hits on each enemy unit that charges the bearer or his unit this turn. He basically gets a weak Hammer of Wrath without charging. And that's great. I think that's excellent for 10 points. 10 points. The Command and Control Node. this is pretty useful. It's 15 points, and if this model does not shoot, all shooting attacks made by other models in his unit re-roll to hit. This cannot be used when firing Overwatch, but can be used at the same time as a multi-spectrum sensor suite. So this basically means, this is the incentive to take a guy with no guns and just say, right, everybody else you're twin linked. It's one of the buff Manda tricks, and it combines very well with the multi-spectrum sensor suite, which is 20 points. And what that does is, if this model does not shoot in the shooting phase, all shooting attacks made by other models in his unit have ignores cover. Cannot be used when firing Overwatch, but it can be used at the same time as a command and control node. You understand now why this is such a broken trick, because your twin linked ignores cover. Ow. Not good. That's not nice. For 35 points for the pair, because it's 20 points for the MSSS. And for 15 points also, you have the Puretide Engram Neurochip. Now this is actually one of the better ones for its points. At the start of your movement phase, choose a special rule. Counterattack, Furious Charge, Monster Hunter, Stubborn, or Tank Hunters. Okay, never mind. This model has that rule until his next movement phase. So you get one of those rules for free for a turn. And that's pretty useful, because obviously Monster Hunter, Tank Hunter, or Stubborn if you're stuck in a melee. That's very, very useful. I don't see a need for Furious Charge though. Counterattack maybe, but no, never Furious Charge. And the last one is 25 points, and is the XV802 Crisis Iridium Battlesuit. +1 toughness, 2+ armor save. So now your commander is toughness 5 with 4 wounds and has a 2+ armor save. Actually, you could give that to anybody and make them toughness 5 with a 2+ armor save and 3 wounds on any other guy. So that's pretty powerful. And then of course you have drones, but they're not a signature system. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other signature systems, but they apply to named characters. Or some do. Yeah, they all apply to different special characters, but those are the main 8. And the NeuroWeb System Jammer, the Onega Gauntlet, are very good for their points. And the Command and Control Node Multispectrum Sensor Suite is a nice, cheeky stab in the back for anybody who plays the buff Manda. And the Crisis Battle Suit, the Iridium thing, makes you a tank. So yeah, that's this first part done. I've covered, Army Special Rules, Warlord Traits, Drones, and Markerlights, and also Relics. And overall, I think that's a very strong section, because the Warlord Traits are all good on the whole. The signature systems are seriously cheap. Drones have a lot of scope. I've been beaten to death by drones. Supporting fire, we know all about supporting fire. The bonding knife ritual, could somebody fill me in on what that means, please? Use the comments down below. So yeah, that's the end of this first part. Like the video if you enjoyed it. I hope you did. Leave any comments down below, and I'll be back to do another video in this series on the named HQs next. So thank you for watching. My name is Michael, and I will see you again.